I know about the carts and the dogs that Sin talked to me earlier, but does anyone else have any ideas?
Maybe ask about certain complications that might appear.
Complications.
Are we aware in character that if we step on the Fey Road, a step off of the Fey Road, we'll get lost?
I believe we did do a knowledge check last time.
Mm-hmm.
Someone performed rather well, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It was Tindy.
It was Tindy.
Tindy would have told everybody.
Yeah. You hear a small cat voice inside the room as she has snuck in. They have snuck in with you.
You hear a cat voice. Ash, now is not the time to use that.
That's the wrong label for it. Shadow Roads. Such a large document to search for the definition. Yes, so I believe you got a high teens number, but not higher than 20, correct?
That sounds right.
Okay. All right. You flash back briefly, your minds go back to the meeting outside of Winter's Kiss with Tandy as they have informed you that Shadow Roads, Fey Roads, however they are aptly named, connect 2 points through magical travel. Elves, Shadow Fey, and Elf Marked seem to have an easier time on these roads than anyone else. The start and end of these Shadow Roads are set in advance, and the doors to them don't stay open long. And a destination of a Shadow Road can be changed, but only by a Fey. Otherwise, new destinations require perhaps maybe some weird magic-y stuff. And that is all you currently know about Shadow Roads.
So we don't know if we step off of it, it'll be a problem.
Yet.
Correct.
Well, then it seems pretty straightforward. I'm sure that you'll think of things once we get in that poppy. There's no
No
use.
promises.
Remember, Poppy, to ask about the cart.
Mm-hmm,
And
I wrote on my hand right now, right here. I have everything. I have like conversation pointers on my hand right there.
okay.
Why does it say something about airline peanuts on there?
I wanted to see if there were in-flight snacks.
Never change, Poppy.
Wait, are we still standing outside or are we inside?
Because we're inside.
Okay.
Well, poppy without further ado.
Okay. I'll just make it up as I go. I'm sure nothing bad will come of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Belle. We're done.
The door that Belle is standing on the other side of opens up. And you see the butler man as he ushers you through, as he makes proclamations as each of you pass. So he'll say, Princess Poppy Honey Blossom of Zobeck,
I give a curtsy.
the Ofston of Jomsborg,
Leop just walks in, follows Poppy.
Mara Ravensbone of Margrave Forest,
Just a little tail swish.
a gentleman known only as Sin,
Thank you.
Prudence of the Sanctum of Mildrasil,
She does a quick bow.
and I believe that is it. Your Excellency. And you see in front of you at a cordial sitting place, not a big long table, in a high-backed chair of dark blue, green, and very, very dark, ancient-looking wood, is a finely dressed, distinguished gentleman. His hair is cut very short on one side, up to about the temple line, and he has long, sea-foamy blue hair that drifts over in a finely brushed and combed pattern on the right side of his head. He is wearing, again, fine clothes with more of a ruffle around his neck and sleeve, the ends of his sleeves, in sort of a dark icy blue. Nice padded pants and shiny black shoes that curl just slightly at the tip of the toes. And he is holding his cup, his tiny little cup, and sipping. It's probably maybe half the size of a hand. And whatever he is sipping, he is gently doing so and placing it back down on his little tray. And you see various states of chairs. There are love seats, single chairs, wooden chairs, large throws of like a ground puffball that could be sat on. It seems that there are more seats than there are you all, and you can choose to sit where you would like. He, as he sets it down, he stands up and gives a quick bow and ushers to the seats, and he goes, "Please, get comfortable. Welcome, all of you. Good to see you again, Miss Poppy."
Good to see you too, Your Excellency, and thank you for putting time aside in your busy day to talk to us.
"I'm certainly thirsty, and it is good to be reminded to drink. Now, for those of you who might not be aware of, may not have seen a Shadow Fae before, Bell, I shall take it from here. Thank you, sir. But I shall be addressed as His Excellency, or His Excellency Thelamandrine. And I am the ambassador in extraordinary of the Winter Court, which we don't need, I believe, to have that explained. So simply, Your Excellency would be perfect. Where do you guys sit?
Prudence will take the love seat if it's near wherever Poppy is. She's
Poppy will immediately go towards the puffball on the floor. It looks comfy. Go with the Poppy.
Yeah, Sin will take a floor seat.
Okay.
Mara's gonna
Leah.
stand.
Leo's gonna stand behind Prudence with arms crossed.
He looks for just a moment at those who are standing and goes, "Right. Well, Miss Honeyblossom, what do I owe the pleasure?"
I came here to ask about whether or not you know anyone who could possibly take us on the oh my god, Skylar's forgetting what it's called. The Shadow Road.
Wow.
And I I also had a few questions about the Shadow Road in general.
Well, to simply answer your question, yes, I know many a people who are able to travel quite well through the Shadow Roads or the Fey Roads.
Would you be able to hook us up?
That is your first question that you have besides, do I know whether people are able to, if I know people who can travel these roads?
Oh, is there a question limit? Oh, that wasn't a question. That was. Oh no.
I mean, I suppose I could, but I would assume that would be rather uncomfortable. I'm sure you have places to be. I've heard that hooking people is quite painful.
Oh, I didn't mean literally.
It's hard to tell.
Okay. Oh, I was wondering how big the road is. Is it like a skinny little thing where we have to go in like a single file line, or is it like we could spread out a bit, maybe bring a cart and some dogs and some horses?
He grabs a nearby nail file and begins to file his nails. It's a rather long question, but I suppose that the road can be as wide as the person that is leading you through it.
Okay.
Sorry, if you add many things to your question to make it a multifaceted question, I'm afraid I will only answer the first question asked in a sentence.
That makes sense.
I'm glad it does.
Poppy looks over at Prudence like,
Sure.
I don't know what to do, man.
Surely the rest of your party can be able to speak. They also have questions, or...
Oh,
Prudence speaks up immediately. We were not sure of the etiquette.
Oh. Well, then consider my word as an invitation to open up and speak, ask your own questions. It seems that Poppy is still struggling with being a representative for your group. I mean no offense, of course.
none taken.
Good, good.
Your Excellency, is there any danger off of the Shadow Roads that we should be aware of?
Absolutely.
Will you tell us of them?
There are too many to count, I'm afraid.
Fair.
If I tell you of one, surely the odds of you meeting that exact danger is criminally small.
Would you say that it is far more dangerous for those that are not of the magical realms to be taking these Shadow Roads?
Absolutely.
Would you advise against it?
Oh, well, perhaps I could ask a question of my own, if you don't mind.
She kind of sweeps her hand, like, go ahead.
Why do you wish to take such a dangerous road?
Because it would be a lot quicker than walking our destination on foot through normal means. And we heard about it and thought that it could be a good idea, maybe.
They are rather efficient.
I guess I have a question. So
Sure, if you let me follow up with one of my own.
I suppose that would be fair.
Wonderful.
So what we're planning to do is to take this road, and we have a large cart and some dogs And so I guess my question would be, do you see anything dangerous about us deciding to take this road versus going the old-fashioned way?
Good question. Depending, I suppose, on where you are going on through the material. If it's simply to the south, I've heard it's quite a rather pleasant experience, especially if you go downriver. If you go through the forest, that is varying degrees of danger. If you go through the lands of Morgal, certainly far dangerous. And the danger of going through the Pharaoh. I'd say would far exceed from what my reports tell me of what currently goes about. Far more dangerous to take the Pharaoh. What are you?
I'm not really sure.
Interesting. Okay.
I've been, I guess, experimented on.
Oh, how dreadful. Well, 'tis a rather unfortunate experience, I have heard, but it seems that you are well and in good health.
Real
That-
quick, is that
Mostly,
the first time Sin has ever mentioned that to any of us?
yes.
Oh shit.
That
Damn.
that wasn't a question, my dear gentleman named Sin. Rhetorical.
Sorry?
It was It wasn't a question. I stated that you appear to be in good health. It
Oh,
didn't.
I see.
It.
I see. I misunderstood you. I'm sorry.
It. No matter. Already done filing my nails, brother.
Darn, as a character, we're going north, right? I just realized I have no idea where the temple is.
Good question. You have quick access to the map of Zobeck?
Yeah. Hold on, let me pull it up.
I'll race ya. Oh no, Google! Kelly was right. Google is messing up. Okay, here we go. Curse you!
Warned you.
Course you corporate conglomerate. I can, if you can look at the map. If you have it up.
You
If
want me
you-
to stream it?
You can if you'd like. Sure. So that way the others can be able to see. So Zobeck, if you were to draw a straight-ish line from the center of Zobeck through the H in the Black Hills to the first ice-capped mountaintop that you see over to the southeast of the Blood, or more east than south of the Blood Vaults. Warmer. Warmer. You gotta move your mouse rather than the actual full map. Warmer. Colder.
That's southeast.
Okay. Up north. Up. Just a scotch. Oh, no, go back. Just a scotch to the right. Down. Down. Left. Up. Left.
You're the worst.
Hey! The first ice-capped southernmost mountain in that range.
That's the little boy right here.
I wouldn't necessarily call it a little boy, but yes.
So it's northeast. More east than north, actually.
Yes.
Okay.
I was upside down.
south of Glengrove, to the east of the Blood Vault.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm taking notes.
No, you're good. Yeah, the from what was mapped from what you had, someone in your group had been able to take time to map it, that it would be a 40-day, 39-night journey.
There
You're
and
at,
back.
No,
I'm sorry, there and...
there.
yeah, we'll be gone a long time.
Million years.
There's a wonderful way of this map that actually is included. If you're on the map and you were to do the compass, on the right hand side of the screen, you could technically draw a trail going roughly through the main roads that bring you past the Griffin Tower. It would bring you up past Valislach and just to the east of Bratislor. And if you took, like I said, the main roads themselves until you couldn't anymore, then feasibly that would be about 465 miles, right? This is out of character. So 465 miles. If we were to, and I've done the math. I don't, you guys don't necessarily have to do math in this for this part. So 465. If you guys travel 24 miles a day, which is 3 miles an hour, 8 hours a day, then it would be. No, 465. No, it would be 19 days there. So no, it'd be a total of 40 days there and back, and 39 nights. I was mistaken.
I'm gonna have Poppy. I'm gonna have Prudence stand, and is it okay if I approach you, Your Excellency?
For what?
I wish to show you a map of our destination.
Suppose that's rather interesting. You 4 feet between us, please.
All right. Prudence does so, and then she just, I guess, unfurls a map and sort of points. Of course, we're going to start from Zobeck, follow this road up north, and then head east. As you can see, it will be quite the journey.
Ooh.
That is why we want to take the Shadow Road.
Well,
So I guess my next question for you, sorry to interrupt, is would this cut the journey down quite significantly?
I guess that assumes that you all are good at following directions and not straying from where you are to be when you are to be. For the shadow roads themselves are certainly convenient. They have a unique way of providing those linked with the Fae easy travel between realms. This is not our natural realm that we come from. We had crafted roads withstanding the test of time. And these roads, well, if you were to, let's say, take this road here going into the forest up to Bratislor, right? Beyond? Well, if you were to step off into a dusty patch, perhaps to camp for the night, then you would wake up the next morning and you would certainly be right where you were. But unfortunately, if you were to take any step off of the path in a shadow road, you wouldn't see each other again.
He elaborates on that.
It is a bit of an exaggeration. I suppose it is possible, but quite unlikely. You would turn around, and wherever your friends have been left, they will simply no longer be there.
So you're saying we'd get lost?
Dreadfully so. Yes, yes.
Lost in Midgard or elsewhere?
That's a great question. I'm afraid I can't quite answer that. 100% accuracy. I go back to the question, do you all do what you're told?
Prudence has to think about it.
The Austin grimaces.
Depends
Mara
on the
glares at
circumstance, mostly.
Sin.
I think I will take this moment of silence as a pretty good answer. Thank you.
Poppy wasn't silent. She said something.
Oh, I heard you, Poppy.
Prudence rolls the map back up and she turns around to look at her party. What do all of your faces look like after that question?
Sin, he looks confused, but at the same time, he feels a massive weight from the glare from Mara. He doesn't understand why.
Prudence looks at Mara. Are you glaring at him, Mara?
Yes.
Leoff has a stinky face under his helmet, like he is not pleased.
And Poppy?
Poppy is a mix of emotions. It's a lot. There's obviously just a lot going on in her little head right now.
Yeah, she turns back to the ambassador. I'm sorry to turn my back on you. I just needed to kind of gauge where we're at here. So she kind of turns so her back's no longer to the ambassador, but she's kind of sideways. I need you all to speak up right now if you don't think that you can follow directions to a T, because this sounds quite dangerous, and I am not willing to lose you to the wilds or whatever the Shadow Fae have going on.
The whole time he's behind you, just nodding his head and going, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
To a T, I think, is the point.
I'm a little worried, but I'll do it if everybody else wants to. I will. I do have one other question, I guess.
Before we get too far out of hand for the copious amount of questions being thrust up into the air, not sure where they will stick, to properly estimate the time if you were, in fact, to follow specific directions and not get lost. Then I suppose the time... I'm not familiar with that sort of physical journey. Do you know how long it would take you if you were to go on foot?
About 80 days.
No, I miscalculated. It is in fact 19 days there, 19 days back.
Oh.
Yeah.
19 days there, 19 days back.
See him do like some bit of mental gymnastics as he thinks of the map you have doesn't list where the Fey roads are. So he goes, I would say half the time. What? Why the rush?
I was under the impression it was going to take 80 days, but 19 sounds a little bit better.
Oh yes, smaller numbers, much far easier to understand.
It was literally typing out a thing like, maybe it's just me, but 19 days doesn't sound that bad actually. Like, why are we here? Oh my god.
When you think of it in the grand scheme of things, yes, 19 days is far nicer to get from here to there with what you know is correct. Gravity, creatures you've seen before, perhaps in books or museums. There's much that you don't know about the Fey roads. I'm afraid that they would be far, far more dangerous, even if you have a respectable guide. And of course, we haven't even talked the subject of payment.
Can you be attacked on the Fey road?
Yes, quite often.
Prudence actually kind of looks excited. By what sort of creature?
Yes. I believe that question was framed certainly different a moment ago, but there are too many to possibly imagine. If I give you an example, you may never see it, and you may think me perhaps a exaggerative fool. So it's best.
I would never. Just could you entertain me? Just give me one example.
Hmm.
Just the strongest thing that you could think of.
It's hard to describe it physically. You never really see it. Not that it's invisible. It's more that it is just simply black. In its entirety. You no longer see the hands in front of your face. Or even the whiskers in that northerner beard.
He also makes another stinky face.
Poppy kind of stands up and like wanders over to Prudence and like tugs on her clothes.
Yes, darling.
And she kind of like motions back towards the love seat that she was at before.
Oh, is she like asking me to go sit back down?
Yes. Just like, don't let this sway you.
Oh, I want to hear just a little bit more about the black
Mm,
monster.
Hey,
Hmm.
hey.
Yeah, have you ever had the feeling of falling for more than 300 feet?
No, I can't say that I have.
Like when
Hmm.
you're sleeping and then all of a sudden you feel like you're falling.
Yeah, well, let's go with the smaller numbers are better, yes. Let's say 290 feet. 280. 270. Stop when we get there. 260. 250. 240. 220. 210.
Have any of us fallen before?
200. 200. 190.
See,
180.
No, I
170.
didn't think it was that. No.
160.
Probably a bit
150.
closer. How tall is
mean-
the house?
Patches is the only one that's fallen like super far, but he's not here anymore.
You've only fallen off of a house?
The
Yes,
judgment. Oh, is that all?
Of course, I'm quite nimble. I don't fall off of things very often because I catch myself. I'm sorry that you find yourself falling quite more often than I.
I sense a bit of aggravation in your voice.
not
Prudence of the
aggravated.
monastery of Milrasil.
I'm not
Sound-
aggravated.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like her aggravated voice. You'd know if she was aggravated.
And what is that supposed to mean?
Leonson tries to get ahead of this conversation.
He yawns.
Mara switches her glare to Prudent.
He yawns and says quite clearly that he believes he is starting to get bored of this conversation.
I
Prudence,
have one.
something feels weird in your throat.
Mine?
You don't even hear that sound.
Oh no. She clears her throat louder.
Absolute silence. Your throat is cleared. You can feel it physically. Like there's nothing in your throat. But when you go, no sound. It is as if you are on mute.
Jordan, you're only making me want to like punch this guy more.
Prudence,
And I'm
So-
playing Poppy, so I can't. God.
Brutus, do you think we should go then?
She opens her mouth to speak and says something.
I can't hear you.
I believe the decision must be made as I am getting rather over this conversation.
I have one final question, sir, if you do not mind.
I suppose I can entertain one from such a brutish man as yourself.
Austin like takes a second. He's like holding his finger up, just like collects himself for a second, takes a breath, and asks, "When you say we must follow directions, do you mean physical directions on the road, or will there be?" He kind of takes a second to think about the word tasks, more than just movement directions.
Doesn't seem that much has changed from the philosophy and education from the northern lands, but I suppose I will answer your question appropriately. When I say follow directions, that would be from your guide, you do everything exactly as they say. When to, how to, where to, without really needing to know why, other than the fact that that will save you from the emptiness.
Austin still trying to keep his temper, kind of just that answered his question, and he nodded. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, I have of course, question for a question, if you don't mind.
Not at all, Your Excellency. Well, growls it.
Thank you. My question is simple. Perhaps, again, we are dealing with smaller numbers here. How many men have you killed?
Austin stops, kind of lifts his eyes. Do you mean notable foes or foes in general?
Well, men is a plural. How many lives have you taken? Surely you keep an exact number. I'm interested to know.
I'm so sorry, can you ask that one more time? Robin was talking to me.
How many lives have you taken?
Austin kind of gets like his eyes kind of dart around, trying to do the numbers. Hundreds, and he kind of like grimaces. Thousands.
He has a bard cup. It's so weird.
Absolutely dreadfully disappointing. Poppy.
I will increase.
Miss Honeyblossom. I think we have. I think you all know as much as you should for what you are about to do, and at this point, any further questioning or eyes wandering would simply be a further waste of my time.
Okay.
If you do decide to take that 19-day journey, I would, if they allow this, at the Zobeckian Library, check out a book. I believe the title is How to Win Friends and Influence People. Maybe a couple more books on how to use longer sentences.
I can use plenty of long sentences. It's just that you said that I had like too many words in one sentence before, so I tried to shorten it down.
Exactly that. Sentence structure. Surely a human has written a book about that in the last 60 years.
Okay. I was about to say something as Poppy, but I don't know. Like personally, I don't know if the rest of you guys would be fine with me saying this.
Do it, coward.
Okay. Because this would just be making the decision of our journey is the thing.
As always, Maya is like, I will kill my character for no reason. For potato chip. Let's go.
Well, that was gonna be my next move, Skylar, and and this is you're leading this story, so go for it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think we'll be taking the road. Thank you, though.
You, Prudence, you don't feel... It's been a minute. Yeah, you don't feel, if you've been kind of humming to yourself, testing the limits of how long this whatever this thing might be.
Absolutely.
You do finally release some sort of sound.
I'm sorry, I still can't make out what you're saying, Prudence.
I couldn't speak.
How odd?
But you sound fine now.
Yeah, she sounds fine to me.
Well,
I need to step outside. She looks
And
pissed
that's
off
where-
and she leaves.
that's where everyone else will be going as well. It was wonderful talking to you, Your Excellency.
There
and
we
Thank you
go.
for your time.
Yes, thank you for this momentary break to drink and hydrate. Always important. Don't forget to fill up your water skins on your journey. Another point. A free one. Very, very few water sources on the Bay Roads.
Well, it's a good thing we'll be journeying on foot then. Goodbye, Mr.
I forgot how to say his name.
Thelamandrine.
Mr. His Excellency. Goodbye.
You, he doesn't say anything. He just closes his eyes and bows his head.
Andy. Prudence busts through that front door just pissed off. You did not miss anything. And she stops off a few feet away.
Tandy cups their hands around their mouth and goes,
Tandy missed Brew Brew.
I missed you too.
Tandy is helping. They are doing their best.
I assume that at this time, Mara, Leofston, Sin, Poppy, you all exit.
Yes.
do. Is there anything?
Yes.
Okay, never mind.
Steal?
No. I was gonna have like Leofston like kick a bucket or like a barrel nearby, but I realized probably doing it outside of the shadow phase probably not like an embassy. Probably not brilliant, but Leofston looked like a little more chill about it. Looks just as pissed as fucking Prudence is.
I have a question.
Yes.
Not for you.
Oh.
Oh, Jesus, okay.
For Poppy.
Well, you're gonna have to be more specific.
For Poppy.
Yeah, I figured.
Can you describe what you're wearing right now?
Oh, I can do that. Poppy is wearing she's wearing her armor because she's trying to get used to wearing it again before going on adventure. But she's also wearing like a blue like sundress sort of thing underneath it, and it's got some like off the shoulder sleeves, and she's got her hair up a little differently this time around. It's not in the braid. It's in like a half up, half down sort of deal. She's wearing her boots. It's not like super fancy or anything, but it's a little different.
Okay. Barefoot?
No, boots.
Boots. They lace up?
Yeah.
Okay. Leofston, Sin, and Mara, you all turn to leave, and you see Poppy turn as well and fall. Actually, you know what? Poppy, give me a dex save.
Cool.
I'll let you roll for it. We'll see what you get.
Instead of falling, could I catch myself by flying?
I'm just give me the dex save.
Okay, I was hoping I could cheat it.
Oh, shit.
15.
You can catch yourself by flapping your wings.
And then I fly out.
Mm-hmm. With your boots tied together.
Looking at the art, she actually does not have laced up shoes, but it's fine.
He didn't when she came in, but now.
He put laces on it.
Laces.
The fate giveth and the fate taketh away.
So we saw Poppy like start to fall to the floor and then fly back out. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I'd say, sort of a unintentional movement of like, what? And then like you see her kind of go, and then before you hear a thud, you see if she's out of frame, you hear the flapping of wings, and then she just has whatever look she's wearing as she flies on out the door.
That could just be Poppy, though.
Tendy has seen Poppy trip upstairs sometimes.
Calling her out.
It's a real life scenario too. Oh my god. I feel that.
Tendy knows everything. Tendy is so wise. Tendy perception is so high that Tendy can see Skylar through Poppy.
Fear.
Okay.
So yeah,
We
we
all,
also marches after Prudence too, as she goes leaves.
you guys make your way back outside. The winter's kiss.
If I ever talk to that guy again, it'll be too soon. Okay, let's go.
Mitchell.
Tendy has put bows on both of the dogs on their little ears.
First thing the officer he comes out and rubs her ladyship's head. You look very good. This is a good look for you.
That's a good look for Jordan.
I forgot this shit's going up on YouTube. Fuck.
Prudence is pouting. Just saying. She's pouting. She's waiting way ahead for you all to catch up.
Poppy flies over to her and grabs her hand immediately.
Let's go home.
I can't go home. We have to go travel for 19 days. Straight,
Mm,
then 19 days back.
yeah, but I left my bag at home, so we have to go home.
Oh, Poppy.
I left my cell phone in the bathroom. We have to go back.
19 days isn't so bad.
Did
Yeah.
anyone else forget anything?
Austin joins with the dog, with her ladyship. We didn't bring the cart.
That's
I forgot that I like forgot and brought the wrong shoes today, so I ended up tripping. Oh no. It's fine, I caught myself.
Do they always tie together like that? Is that a faith
No.
thing?
No, that wasn't like that before.
Prudence kneels down in front of Poppy and unties them for her, and then reties them. All right, let's head back, get our things, and let's go.
Okay.
I need to get some energy out.
As they're walking, Tendy leans over to Poppy and whispers,
Prue Prue is better at tying bows than Tendy. Maybe Prue Prue should have stayed back and tied bows for dogs. I think Prue Prue should have stayed back for multiple reasons. Got him. And I don't
That
mean
is
that
not
in a
canonical.
rude way. It's just
Got him.
I don't mean that in a rude way. It's just that Mr. Thelamandrine was just very mean to her. And if he kept being mean, then I probably would have done something stupid.
Tendy immediately turns back and looks at the building, and their ears go back like angry cat.
Yeah, he was mean to everyone, though.
Oh, the ears go back more.
He's just a little powerful fae, and he's like, oh, I can do whatever I want because I'm a powerful fae. And I mean, it's true, but also there's still like courtesy in being nice, you know. You don't have to be mean just because you're powerful.
Oh no!
Prudence
Oh
is
no!
pretending.
I heard him roll dice. Oh no!
And so I take 44 points of damage, and
I think we're getting to the maybe just at the end of it.
of what?
Poppy, after you finish saying Mr. Thelamandrine, your feet tug at you again, but you do not manage to catch it because you considered that maybe while inside you might have been prepared for a little bit more, outside you were not, and you do hit the ground. They have retied themselves.
I don't like that guy.
You don't take
That's
any
Angie
damage.
laughing, not Prudence. So sorry.
No, man, best friends laugh before they pick each other up. It's fine.
Tendy laughs and then picks Poppy up.
Thank you.
I do need a
Best
shirt
friend.
like that.
Poppy, you should get different shoes that
No, it's Faye tricks.
slip-ons. Just have some Velcro, you know.
Never wearing shoes again.
Has Velcro been invented already?
Yeah, it was invented last week. Didn't you hear in the news?
We have news.
Yeah, the boy on the corner was yelling about it.
We have boys.
Yeah, you don't notice the boys in the corner shouting.
I used to watch Fox News, but there was never any news about foxes, so I stopped watching.
Oh my god, Katie, what did you send us?
I don't know. Don't click it.
Crocs.
Oh my god.
Well, we go back to Dringskopper.
Mm-hmm.
Poppy has to get her bag. And we have
Right.
to get the cart.
The Austin already has his stuff with him, so he probably focuses on getting the cart ready.
Princesses are still there too.
Tendy will go get their stuff.
Okay. So you all prepare for your physical journey of going up through Margrave Forest, past the Griffin Tower, a trip that you have made a good number of times. Well, some of you. Up further north past Valak in the realm of Doresh. Passing by, at least from what the map says, Bratislor. As far as these names for these cities, you just know them by name. You don't know anything about them. But you pass by Bratislor and you go underneath, below the Wendestal Forest, through the Cloud Wall Mountains to the peak that has been specified. The icy peak, a peak that is directly east to the Title Blood Vaults.
So we're on that trip. Do we need to take out gold for their food?
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, so this is kind of the thing that we need to try to probably figure out so that way we don't have to worry about it for the trip. Right?
95 gold per person.
Yeah, we'll just have to get it out of the way for everybody.
Huh?
What would you say, Sin?
95 gold per person.
That covers all food?
Yeah, if it's 19 days there, 19 days back, that's 38 plus the or just 38, and if it's 5 silver pieces, that's 95.
That seems... Okay. Hold up. If it is, we're just going to go with easy rounded math. We go with the number 40. As in 40 days. If they are worth 5 silver pieces apiece, then it is 20 gold. Because two gold, or I'm sorry, 1 gold would be 2 rations. You are acting as if these rations are 2 gold apiece.
Yeah.
So 20 gold will cover you for food. Drink is a little harder because obviously you can't carry it's water weighs the same no matter what. So typically we're not going to do the thing where we're going to do every single day a survival check. There will be places where there may be a shortness of water, and that's probably where we will have it. But going through the forest, I don't see there being a big issue with, especially as how I can see some some water. You're heading up a mountain range, which most melting snow forms small creeks and such. I'm not going to really worry about water in this environment. If you want to spend 20 gold, you will have enough food to be able to make it there and back. And you would not need to worry about putting that many rations on your character sheet. You would just simply deduct the 20 gold, and if there ever is called into question whether or not you have enough food, you do, unless there is a significant delay.
Can I ask something? I don't know how to word it though.
Okay.
So
Well, I mean,
let me
you're not dealing with the Fae, just the DM now. So.
Well, no, this is just my own brain that I'm struggling with. So you know how I had Victor and Moss become friends for the benefit of potentially knowing more about creature. Could we potentially get some sort of like benefit from that for our journey? Like, I know we're not going through the Margrave Forest, but there must be like creatures that exist all over the place, right? Does that make sense? I don't know if I worded that right.
We're going to be traveling past the Griffin Tower. It's a route you've taken, 4 days to the Griffin Tower. You've taken that route numerous times, and I'm sure you're welcome to stay there just as well. But what exactly is that question? The question you're trying to ask?
If we encounter a creature, I'm hoping that we will get knowledge off of it because of the relationship between Victor and Moss.
Is that the specific benefit you want, or are you just asking for a benefit from that relationship in general?
That specific benefit.
Okay. This is a very new relationship, correct?
Like a month-long relationship at this point.
Okay. Yeah, if you were to come across a creature, I have a benefit in mind.
Thank you. Are we on the journey right now, or are we just talking about going on it? Okay, cool.
I'm still trying to struggle. I'm struggling with this damn math for some reason.
See
It's five silver pieces per day
Yes.
for rations.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, and then you times that by 40. That's 200 silver pieces.
Yes.
Okay,
Should be
so
100.
then it would be 100 gold pieces.
That's the math that
But
I
since we're
was doing
not talking about round numbers. Talking about 19, it's 38, so it'd be 95 total.
Not that I am dissuading you from doing math, but I'd much rather spend 20 gold, like Jordan said.
Well, yeah, I'm just
Put your hand down.
trying to figure out what the hell I got.
1 gold equals 10 silver. 1 silver equals 10 copper. 1 platinum equals 10 gold. It's a fairly. They kept the conversion rather easy.
Like the metric system.
So, a ration is 5 silver. A ration will get you by per day. So for 2 days, it is a gold.
That's 20 gold for the whole trip.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep.
B.
Sounds
I
like
think-
Mr. Quaid's up to his old tricks again.
Mm.
Uh-huh. Okay. It's a rather nasty habit, overcharging your friends. I'm kidding. Yeah, no, we are going through we're getting the logistics out of the way because 2 reasons. An hour ago, I had no idea whether I needed to plan for a Fey Roads encounter or like possibilities or overworld possibilities. Now that I know, sometime would be nice to be able to at least figure out how we're going to do this. Because I know we weren't going to take it every single day by day. But I know we also don't want to rush it. That's what I think. That's part of what we talked about last time. This is the episode we did not record.
Mhm. Well, last time we talked about like all of us doing our one scenario and then one scenario that you came up with. Like as in like you do the round robin where we decide something that happened and then we do an encounter with you. Or did I just suggest that and then we didn't decide on it?
Again, memory of a man who belongs in an assisted living place. So
It was that we kind of deferred to your judgment because you spent so much money on healing potions for us. So we kind of like just accepted, or not accepted, that's the wrong word. At least I thought it was fair that you got to decide what we should be doing. And I think that was what we decided, that we do a round robin of some fun little role play stuff. And that he would either roll on an encounter chart or we would get at least one fight in.
For a split second, I thought you were talking about Jordan. I'm like, he didn't spend any money on the health potions.
Excuse me. I had to purchase them so they're available for you. I technically bought every single health potion that exists in the world.
Yeah, but you bought them at market value, so you're probably ripping us off.
He gets a DM discount.
It's not me. I'm simply the arbiter of the rules. Let's say if it is a 19-day journey, again, I like round numbers, right? Can't divide 19 by the 6 of you. You can divide 18 by the 6 of you. So this would mean that that there would be 3 things. However, if I am also to be included into that, let's see. You can divide 21 by 3.
Maybe we're delayed by a day.
Yes, as a matter of fact. So here.
What if it rains one day and we don't make it very far?
What if someone's got the bubble guts and you have to just go slow? I mean, I played Oregon Trail. When someone has what is
Dysentery?
it? Dysentery, you have to slow your cart down. Or next thing you know, y'all be having a funeral. Okay, so let's do it this way. Going the trip there, each person, each character, and this includes myself as DM, shall have 3 sort of encounters of a type. Yours, as PCs, are going to be all non-combat based. I will roll to see how many of my 3 are combat based.
Sounds fair.
Yes, 3 per.
Okay.
Nobody heard you.
I know, it's because I have mute.
Oh, okay.
I'm having trouble hearing you because you were in the room and muted on the thing. And this is like sound canceling.
Got it.
So I'm just making sure I have. Okay, so we do 3. Okay, got it.
I love you too. Yes, I know I look good in black. Thanks. Can we get back to the game, please?
But like,
this
game, I would play
you guys know clearly the parts I'm making up and not are actually being said. So yes, I will roll a die to figure out how many of my 3 will be combat encounters, and you guys can essentially go round robin with your 1, and then your 2, and then your 3, which I think would give me enough time to possibly come up with what your guys' encounters are. That would mean, though, that I'm kind of doing something while you guys are explaining stuff, so I would rather be fully focused on you guys. So we'll save mine for the end.
We could. So was your plan of all of us doing all 3 of ours at once, or like go into like an initiative roll so that way?
And well, we could operate off of initiative. That would work.
Because that way, like that gives us a little more time to come up
Yeah.
with extra scenarios when we need it.
Each of us does one. Go back to the beginning of initiative.
Mhm.
Each of us does one.
Yeah. That seems fine to me. It's not a NPC. There's not an NPC called Dungeon Master. I need to make one of those. So yeah, go ahead and just roll initiative. We'll get that started. Does anyone have any questions about this or otherwise?
We're just coming up with 3 random encounters.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh no! Shit. Okay.
that was cool, Katie.
That was really good, except it was too high, and I got to think. Oh god. Russia.
All right. So everyone, we're gonna need to have, well, Poppy and Mara, you both got the same number. Both of you roll d20. Poppy got a 12. Mara got a 1. There we go. Okay. So then in this case, the order is going to be Prudence, Tendi, Sin, Leofston, Poppy, and then Mara. And then we'll go back around. I will cover the 3 at the end for your trip. I want you to keep in mind that if you imagine these 3 encounters to be legs of the journey, the first one would be the forest. The second leg would be clearing the the initial first time entering the Cloud Wall Mountains, heading towards Bratislor and the Windestal Forest. You're not going through that forest. You're going beneath it in a rather barren passage. And then the third leg would be going back through the Cloud Wall Mountains, and also the first time you guys would veer off the main road to make it to the Temple of the Gods. To give you some non-mechanical inspiration for the travel ahead of you. Most of you are aware of the Margrave Forest being the oldest forest known to everybody. One of the not the largest forest, but sizes and everything. It has the fact that it is rumored to be the first forest is enough to give it its high pedestal and praise. If you have a question about the Margrave Forest that perhaps we have not explored yet or has been asked, I will accept a question there, and then obviously I will give you some tidbit or two about Bratislor and perhaps the Cloud Wall Mountains. So that way you'll have some ideas generated for your guys' encounters.
Understood. I have mine already. Did I roll first initiative?
You did, yes. I was giving a beat to see if anyone had any questions.
Okay, I'll wait.
We're not going to Bratislava. We're just going up the mountains in that direction.
Yes, you'll be passing by it, but you won't be going through it.
How big is it? Like, are we going to see it? Is it a Chicago situation?
It's a very major city. In
We're
fact,
not getting whatever Katie's asking questions.
oh, thank you.
I was asking if we're gonna see the city like in the distance, and he just said it is a major city. So I
It is
guess that
definitely,
answers the question.
yeah, it's a major city, you guys. It's definitely bigger than Zobeck. And not in the good way, like you want. Okay, well, I'll just go ahead and give these ideas. The road you're traveling is called the Great Northern Road. This road, going from Zobeck to at least Castle Valak, is the Great Northern Road that protects, the Griffin Riders used to protect the trade routes among this road. The road is mainly just a wagon width wide, which is a tongue twister. And the forest itself seems to be unable to totally reclaim it. The road remains a scar cut down the Margrave's face. High overhead, the branches of flanking trees reach out for each other, turning the road into a long tunnel with a tall, green, Gothic arch.
That sounds so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna do this same thing on the way back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I
There's
mean,
something-
you want to come up with 3 more right now. We're obviously going to have...
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but there's
Yeah.
something I want to do, but I think I want to do it on the way back.
Sure. Very good. So, again, this is a very highly traveled trade road. At least between here and Castle Valak, which is at the base of, or kind of in the peaks of this wrapped Cloudwall mountain range. Far, far, far above sea level, like Denver, is the area to the east of Bratislava, which is obviously less a frequently traveled road, because the road itself leading out of it doesn't pass by any single city until Lingenau, which is just outside the Wormwood. So this road itself that you'll be traveling after it forks, and you are on this road and only this road, there's not much to it. Although the imperial capital of Morgau, Doresh, and Krakovar is Bratislava. There obviously are provincial capitals, but the city is large, although maybe not entirely fully populated, as much as Zobeck. And from what the rumor you could hear from that is that there is a festival held at Bratislava. Each solstice, this is just a rumor, I don't know if this is true or not, but they say that each solstice 100 living citizens are invited to attend the king's feast. Afterward, only one individual returns to the city's cobbled streets, his or her eyes and tongue gouged out and mind shattered by hearing the words of the elders and their plans for the upcoming season.
Well, that sounds disconcerting.
It's just a rumor. And then the cloud wall, I mean, it's a mountain range. It's not too terribly much. Think, think Skyrim. Think snow-capped mountains, passageways, trolls, blah, blah, blah. The great part is once you clear the Cloudwall Mountains, you do see the expansive non-hills of the Rothenian Plain, which just seems to stretch far beyond the horizon with nary a tree in sight. That would be to the southeast. To the northeast, once you kind of clear past this mountain wall or cloud wall mountain range, you see the deep and large forests that you would at least know by your map as Niemheim, and the woods themselves called Wormwood. So, with that all well and good, go ahead, Prudence.
All right. It's been about a day. Nothing exciting has happened. The forest is just getting just a little bit thicker. The road is getting a little bit less worn. And we are traveling in our cart, talking amongst ourselves, when just out of nowhere, this little baby minotaur stumbles on the road. And he's got hair over his eyes. And he's so small. He's like a toddler minotaur, which, isn't that small to begin with. But he looks up and he says, "I've lost my labyrinth. If you help me get back, then I promise to lead you to my treasure."
Okay.
God damn it, Skylar.
Toddler is very fucking good.
Minotoddler is definitely very good.
Oh, he also
You're all
mentions
weak.
his name is Kush.
Mm.
Little man himself.
We gotta help him.
We're gonna insert him into this universe. I see.
It's an AU, okay.
Oh yes, how could I don't own rights to anything. Watsy, don't come after me. Yeah. It is
No, this
not
is why we lose a day of travel.
It is very no. It is certainly a labyrinth, although it is not, and you can all easily tell that this is like not a legit labyrinth, but more like a hedge maze. And
Yes.
I'm glad you're picking up the vibes I'm putting out.
yeah. What were you about to say?
I was really off stage with the card.
For everyone who does go, it is an exercise in teamwork, communication, patience, listening, as it seems that Kush is not able, once you find it, rather easy work. You all are much taller than him. The walls of the maze, though, are immensely tall and very hard to be able to cheat. But again, through all of this, you all start, at various points, express a frustration with one another. And when you finally make it, Kush's eyes, well, they light up, but you wouldn't know. He exclaims with glee that you have helped him find the treasure and the center of the labyrinth he was supposed to guard. And he leaves it at that. But when you question about this treasure, that he said that he would be able to part with you, he mentions the treasure is the friends that you made along the way.
And you love this little one.
You all seem to be rather terse with one another as you come through my maze. And now you have been enlightened to be better friends with better communication skills and patience with one another. May thou be blessed.
He's so wise.
And that's
he
a
bless us?
well-spoken toddler.
We are educated at a young age. Thank you for noticing.
He's not just any toddler, he's a mini toddler. Come on. Damn it.
Thank you for indulging me. I
You-
wanted to see Kush.
You are quite welcome. Very, very good. I can appreciate that. Let me go ahead and just roll a quick die. 1 second.
Oh no.
Oh God.
Let me roll one more die. And finally, let me roll one more. Okay. That was Prudence's turn. So Prudence, you should be able to end your turn now. Sorry, I didn't have the tracker going.
Hold on.
All right. Tendy.
I'm gonna be completely transparent here. I have ideas for the other two. I was trying to think of one for this one, and then Skylar said "fucking Minotaur," and I have not had a thought in my head since.
I'm so sorry.
I will say.
I have an idea though.
Okay, I will say as a precursor, a precautionary tale to those. This is also why I don't look at the Midgard chat during the session.
I will not. I will take that into advisement.
Okay,
and continue to look at the Midgard chat, but I appreciate your input.
that's fair.
Okay, I think at some point in our forest travels, we try to stay directly on the road, right? Because we're all kind of nervous after listening to this Fae talk about the Fae roads. And someone brought it up and was like, do we even have the ability to stay on a normal road without like fucking that up? And so we're trying really hard to do that, but it doesn't work because we hear frogs and we go slightly off the path. And we just see this pond that is full of different sizes frogs, normal frogs, frogs Leofstin size, different kinds of frogs. And we realize that they're mimicking the pitch of our voices. And so we kind of like sit and attempt to get these frogs to like sing a song, because this is what we would do. And so we try to get them to do like happy birthday or like some kind of basic song by each of us just going like in our own voice and trying to make it make a song just for
I love it
funsies.
here. This is great. This is the content I signed up for.
Leofstin obviously does the last note because Leofstin sounds the deepest.
Okay.
That's it. That was not great, but that's something.
Hey,
No, it's perfect.
that was good.
Don't talk about my friend like that. It was great.
I straight up just stole a bit from Banjo-Kazooie and I don't even feel bad.
Hey, you know what? We are... all forms of media are just forms to inspire us. Alright. We'll go ahead and end your proverbial narrative turn. I actually have one after Sin, since I'm technically in this initiative order. But Sin, it is your turn.
Okay. Sin is. We're all traveling next to the cart. Sid is throwing a stick out into the forest, and Charlie is running after it and grabbing it, bringing it back. And he notices that Charlie doesn't come back after a little bit. So Sin kind of just nods at Leofstin and walks out into the forest to see if he can find Charlie. And he sees Charlie just kind of stopped, and out in the forest, he hears some arguing, but it's just one person. Just walking back and forth. They're just arguing with themselves. He's saying that he's angry because says the other guy stole something from him, and so Sin just kind of nudges at Charlie, trying to get him to I come back, and as he's arguing, he notices that the guy was angry that the other guy stole his apples, and so Sin reaches into his bag and pulls out some fruit and walks over to the guy. I couldn't help but notice that you were having a little bit of a spat over some fruit, and I figured that life's too short to get angry. Why not just take some of this and just go about your day?
I'm assuming he gives the man some spare
Yeah,
fruits.
he gives the man a few of his oranges.
Insert joke about comparing apples to oranges.
Right.
It's like a mini game to see if Jordan can guess the trope.
Oh, is that what we're doing? Are we fucking with you the entire time? All right, bet.
Cool.
Gets another chance she didn't know.
It's what we used to call in improv the game within the game.
Ah.
And if you in improv if you notice the game within the game, it becomes much easier to be able to improv and play along. Very well. Nicely done. All right. I guess that leads it to me. I do have one for you guys. I have to wait though until it gets past to my turn.
You should press the little arrows. It's like at the bottom of the thing with
Well, I don't have it up, so it's gonna take a second. Just a second.
Oh yeah. Okay.
There we go.
Let me tell you the tale of the convicts. So, you are at this point in time, we'll say farther than the Griffin Tower, between the Griffin Tower and the Cloudwall Mountains. Understandably so, you guys would be quite weary and on the lookout for hobgoblins. Seeing as how the last time you were here, there was a entire ordeal with hobgoblins, but you don't find any. You do find something else. What started as innocent laughter in the forest causes your carefree natures to get the better of you as you find yourselves quickly surrounded by gnolls and their gnoll pack lord. So I will go ahead. We're not gonna do this combat. This is not nearly as cool as I want it to be. But I will let you, due to the ability of the friendship and relationship built up between Moss and Victor, I will let one of you, and you need to choose which one. We'll let one of you roll a nature check with advantage.
Mara.
Mara.
Okay.
Make sure you mark advantage on the little die modifier.
What the fuck do you think this is?
I'm just crossing my T's and dotting my I's.
The nature?
Nature.
Nature. Is this voice too close to Poppy's?
No.
I'll just do this voice.
Mm.
Oh, that's right down the middle. Can I sway you?
slides $10 bill across the table.
I tell you what, you bring up a... I mean, I have to get in the mode of being a fae, so let's go ahead and make a deal. I see...
God, he's here.
I see a delightful thing on my page here.
what
Mara,
is this?
it says you have 2 inspirations. How about if you truly do wish to have a reroll, it will cost you both as opposed to 1.
Yeah, okay, I forget they're there anyways. What's this weird thing next to my stealth? It looks like a little bunny.
It is a
Oh,
little...
it's just me. Don't worry about it. Just watch the stuff.
It looks like a bunny, but it is in fact your armor. It would cause your stealth rolls to be at a disadvantage due to the fact that you are wearing...
Ow. Ah.
Well, you have
Ooh,
leather...
for one
leather
for one
armor.
AC point?
Okay.
I ruined my... I'm gonna take my armor off.
Yeah, you might want to look at... No, leather armor normally would not give you disadvantage on stealth checks. So...
Is it my bag of scimitars?
No, you're not
Clanking
over-encumbered.
around.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that. Normally, I think it's because of it would be included disadvantage, but I do not know.
Okay, so I can roll nature. Do I roll it at advantage again?
Yeah, I'll allow you a complete new reroll.
What a gracious DM. How
Well,
kind you are, sir.
Just
Has anyone ever told me? Has anyone ever told you how great of a DM you are? And
I've told myself that.
yeah. Okay, I think I got it that time.
Well, you got a natural 20, so
There you go.
I'd say so.
Fairly good roll. Okay.
That's right. You know, of the 20 you can get, that's not too bad.
Right. So, Knowles. Where do I begin?
Is that the guy from Frasier?
No. Certainly not.
Niles Crane.
Is it Niles?
So, Knowles are a humanoid hyena race.
Wait, can you spell that?
Gnoll.
Okay, humanoid.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Humanoid hyenas.
Okay.
They are quite savage and warlike. For Midgard, most of the mentions of gnolls, at least in a non-dangerous savage sense, are more prevalent in the Southlands, where many of them are pack and caravan leaders through the deserts of Nuria Natal and surrounding environments. They are typically greenish-gray for their skin, and their fur itself is a light or dark brown, marked with spots or stripes or none. Typically having a dirty yellow to a reddish-gray chest-like mane. It is believed by the centaurs and those of the forest that the gnolls have traces of demonic blood within them. It is hard to distinguish females by males just by size. They are so commonly similar. They do have very short lifespans, living about 30 years or so, but they do obviously have a fairly large recreational cycle. They seem to worship a unknown deity. It is not known very well the language in which they speak. No one has been able to derive it from any current existing language. They have those that have been able to be at least observed without being caught and killed, would say that they have strange rituals and swear that depending on the moon and these rituals coinciding with one another, that hyenas, the animal itself, have been known to change into these gnolls. Not in a werewolf sort of sense, more in the permanent sense. They ascend from the base of being a hyena to the creature that is known as a gnoll. It is not...
Is that their only known means of creation?
No, they can, I think, reproduce as normal.
Okay.
But the rituals themselves have yet to be replicated successfully for those who are odd enough to try it.
Frankenstein's?
Mm-hmm. They are, again, being savage, they do not hesitate to raise a village to the ground if the numbers are in their favor. And in this case, the numbers are indeed in their favor. However, you do manage to come out victorious. Before I go into the battle itself, since you rolled so well, I will give you the various types of gnolls that exist with the relative research that you've done.
I gotta turn my page. Okay.
There is the gnoll, which is the typical gnoll that you are used to seeing. I'll show a picture of them here.
Mexi.
Yeah.
He could put some shoes on though.
No.
Yeah, just saying.
They're good. So that is the regular gnoll. This one is known as the flesh gnar, as they've been categorized.
E-N-A-R. Oh, look, it's up top.
Yep.
Okay.
Swords
Swords for hands.
More like they're gripping the swords, but yeah. There are obviously, since they hunt, there are variants of gnolls that are gnoll hunters, but you find yourself against a regular gnoll, or a bunch of regular gnolls, in fact, the number being 11, accompanied by a gnoll pack lord, which is the one who seems to be leading this group. They are slightly a little bit bigger than the other gnolls. Seems to be more cunning than the others as well, and wears its fair share as a leader of ornaments and piercings and grotesque trophies.
Yeah, I just had to write flesh trophies in my notes.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't make me do that again.
Flesh
trophy sounds like something you'd find on, what is it, Bad Dragon.
We're going to be playing for a long time. You expect me never to mention flesh trophies again? How dare you? And one of the last ones that you're aware of is the Witherling. Even in death, depending on the demonic rituals that they perform, there have been accounts of dried, withered husks of gnolls that have accompanied them in more unintelligent fashion, but nonetheless still just as brutal and dangerous. But you happen to come across these particular creatures, as their hyenic laughter that seemed innocent at first quickly becomes deadly.
Are the other three types of gnolls, are they intelligent creatures?
Guess that is a rather good question. Why would you?
I second that question.
I was about to say, why would you?
You mentioned the Witherlings weren't intelligent, so I was wondering if that means that the others are.
Well, it's a spectrum.
Deductive reasoning would say
Gnolls themselves, they are. It depends on really what counts as an intelligent creature.
A thing that Poppy's been trying to figure out this whole time.
Could they beat
Right.
a dolphin at checkers?
I can't beat a dolphin at checkers. What does that make me?
Dolphin would whoop my ass, to be honest.
Right.
Y'all, you're not helping.
So in terms of intelligent creatures, they would have to be able to speak, and clearly they have a language.
Right.
So they would be.
I think they are because they have
Yeah.
a language. They have a method to the madness. They have packs. They have
I think
order, society.
anything that would have, and you wouldn't be able to know you wouldn't know directly exact stats, but I would say anything that can speak, even though it's a language you don't understand, is intelligent enough.
So dogs are intelligent creatures?
They don't have a
Good
language.
voice. Yes, they do. They bark.
Yes, they do. They talk to each other.
Listen, okay, dog moms, give me a second. I'm looking up a dog.
What are the Star Trek rules to whether or not they can talk to people?
Did you just say you were looking up a dog?
Yes, dogs.
Like on Google? Are you looking
No.
up dogs on Google?
No. Dogs.
It's a picture of a dog.
I would love that. Thank you. I've
What?
never seen one.
Okay. In this particular instance, magical dogs can be intelligent. Regular dogs do not have enough intelligence to have an actual language.
I cover her ladyship's ears. Don't listen to her, girl.
I would love to debate this off camera. But I will say, they are intelligent creatures, yes. Witherlings probably less so, but there are none here. The battle itself is rather, I would say, there's 12 of them and 6 of you. There are obviously no deaths, but there is certainly enough. There's enough damage taken that a particular note, but they do seem to be having a nearby trove of collected goods that you are able to acquire.
Can I ask if I can do something during the battle?
Sure.
Just for flavor.
Sure.
Just for flavor. As it's nearing its crescendo, Prudence maims one of the gnolls but doesn't kill it. She drags it to Poppy and drops it at her feet.
What's this?
It's for you.
Oh yeah, that thing.
She's panting. Well, go on.
Poppy, they'll just blast him, I guess.
Is there a ding or some sort of way that
Nope.
you know? Okay.
Just guessing.
She plops down onto the seat of her pants. Sorry, I made myself laugh.
Those are sometimes the best ones. We all can stand to laugh at ourselves from time to time. All right, here's what you get. Let me know when you are ready, Poppy. Skylar.
Okay.
I'm always ready.
Okay.
It's a lie.
2,400 copper.
Okay.
1,100 silver. 100 gold. A brass torque, Torc, etched with draconic runes, worth 25 gold. A fine leather belt sewn with copper, 25 gold. A rosewood chalice inlaid with ornate silver scrollwork, 25 gold. I'll copy and paste this at the end just in case, but that way I'm not waiting for you to like write each thing down. A silver salt cellar set, wow. A silver salt cellar set with garnet.
Okay.
25 gold. A spell scroll of firebolt. A spell scroll of purify food and drink. A spell scroll of Tasha's hideous laughter. And 2. Well, it would have been 2 potions of healing, but I'm going to say that you guys have used those and haven't dug into the resources that Leofston has purchased.
Can you say the silver cellar set?
I posted it. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Silver salt cellar set with garnet.
My handwriting awful. I don't know why I decided to write this instead of just typing it in the document I had out. Anyway, that's fine.
Jordan, I have a question.
Yes.
So, something that pinged my interest was the rosewood chalice inlaid with ornate silver scroll work. Is that just flavor? Like it's just treasure? Or like is it worth like looking at and seeing what the scroll work is? This is
What?
out of
The scroll, you could. It would just be, I mean, if you're going to keep it, then perhaps the effort could be spent into seeing what the scroll work would be. But if it is something simply to sell for the purposes of gaining money, that time would be wasted for describing what it would look like. Does that make sense?
yes, but counterpoint. If I don't look at it, how will I know if it's something worth keeping?
Okay.
That's why I'm asking, like, is this just a way for you to tell us that we found some really cool stuff and we're selling it? Or is it ever in anybody's interest to look at the treasure we get?
If it were to matter or have any significance, then it wouldn't be the randomly generated treasure that was generated with the randomly generated encounter. There would be specific. It would be something that I would have probably put in there purposefully. This was just generated. As with most of the things that you might randomly encounter while traveling around.
How do I know if it's purposeful?
If we're at a place, not between places. If it is from point A to point B, if it is point A, 0.77566 repeating, probably not.
Understood. Thank you for answering my question.
You're very welcome. Does that answer it though really well?
Mhm.
Okay. Look at me. It is now the Ofston's turn.
I'm a little worried this might be too similar to what just happened, but on the road, out of nowhere, we're all in the car or walking next to it, wherever we're traveling with it. A person swings from the trees and lands in the road in front of us and aims a crossbow at the people in the driver's seat. And several thin, loosely armed people come out to try and rob the cart. But they're very clearly not good at it, or never have done it before. Or am I not? This is not a good encounter? Question mark. Looking at your face.
My only question is: what does loosely armed mean? Like, are their arms loose, or are you talking about their weapons?
They have no bones.
Weapon.
Oh God.
Weapon. Like they have like one of them has like a butter knife. There's a pitchfork somewhere.
They're poorly outfitted.
Tendy is very threatened by these people.
Like one of them has a bucket on his head for a helmet. Like they clearly went.
That was the only question. That was the only question I had.
So, as the only like real weapon between them is the crossbow being pointed at the driver's seat, which I'm assuming is Leofton and maybe Prudence and or Poppy. and Poppy can drive as well. And Leosin is just staring down, and the kid tries to basically the kid's like I love the cart, or we're really gonna do something about you being on the cart. And Leosin just stares at him. The kid's like, yeah, it's gonna be really bad. You should really get off the cart and let us have everything in it. Leosin just leans forward and says, "You haven't even loaded your crossbow." The kid's like, "Ah." so
Damn it,
the kid
Daryl!
doesn't have the strength to actually pull. so, so kid tries to load it and just absolutely fucking biffs. It does not get it. Like the arrow's in it, but he can't. He doesn't have the strength to pull it back. And finally, our little show of force of the fact that we have weapons and what we're doing, we're clearly adventure. They back off, explain that they come from a farming community nearby, and they're just not having a good time. It's just been real bad. They can't grow a farm. They can't raise any animals. They can't do anything. So the youth of the village was trying to try the best to come up with a solution, and the best thing they got was take the one watchman's crossbow, like the only person that could protect the town. They take his crossbow and try to rob people on the street or on the road back and forth, because they thought that between the two big cities, maybe someone would have a lot of money. And instead, Leosin explains, you're not going to find a lot of money, but you will find a lot of people with a lot more pointy weapons than you. So he tries to get them like a little, I don't want to say a dad speech, but it's a dad speech about like, this is going about it the wrong way. There are only two ways you should go about this: is either try to make an honest living or get bigger weapons and actually like train with them. Like you can't just mix both solutions. So Leosin basically gets go. Leosin gives them a few of his rations to try to like help who they can in the village, and he very seriously gets close to Daryl's face and says, "And never point a weapon at me ever again." And we'll scamper off back to the village to try to find a better solution and not to run into any more adventurers.
That gives Danny Tanner giving a lesson on Full House vibes. Listen, Daryl. I know the idea sounded great, but what did we learn? Not to try it with people who are far more experienced. Exactly. Now, run along. Hey, pizza tonight. Yay! And everywhere you look, everywhere
you look.
It's like that exactly, except for we also go, "Hey, next time I see you, I'll pop your fucking head off."
Oh, so it's the My Big Fat Greek Wedding situation.
Yeah.
Hey, Daryl, we're gonna kill ya!
Yeah.
Very good. I'd say with yeah. That's a good one. That's not a bad encounter at all.
I was mostly worried about the face you were making, but then you had a question. And
It was mainly the when I'm in a mode where
He wanted to make a dad joke.
no. A certain podcast I'm listening to has me kind of examining the ways that things are worded and asking for clarification. So that's all.
Okay.
Gee, I wonder which one.
I wonder. All right. Nicely done. That moves it to Poppy.
Okay, so my encounter is as such. Basically, one night we are camping, just like a little bit off the trail, just so that we aren't like in the way of people going by or anything like that. And there's a group of people who stop and ask if they can camp with us. And after a lot of like looking at Leofston going like, please please, I swear, it's fine. Eventually we say yes, and we like hang out for a bit. We like talk around the campfire, exchange stories, and Poppy tells a story that she heard around Zobeck, and it's a story of a witch with snakes for hair that lives in Margrave and wards off evil spirits. And she goes into great detail and asks Tindy to do some like prestidigitation to like make it seem even more magical and crazy of a story.
Absolutely.
Tendi,
Tendi does prestidigitation on Prudence's hair, and Prudence is now the horrible Medusa witch.
Prudence
And
grins.
Prudence acts the part.
She's into it.
Poppy does like voices. It's like a full blown like play that she puts on basically. And it's a
Arden,
good
can I
time.
roll for my performance?
I too would like to roll performance.
Let's get a all three. Go ahead and no advantage, but all three of you roll performance. We'll see who
As the
who's-
creature's namesake, I feel as though I should be involved somehow.
I get a straight 15.
20.
Damn, good job, Poppy.
It's a
Thank you.
it's a
My
rather
story.
I'm enraptured by this story.
it's a rather good performance on all counts. I would say everyone else is
Immediately
rather
Austin's, like,
intrigued.
way into it.
You both
I say like evenly Austin's like into it.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh my god, Dad came to my play.
He made it just in time from his almost impossible to escape work function.
My favorite Disney Channel original movie.
But yeah, that's my thing.
that was cute. I liked it.
Thank
That's
you. It took
wonderful.
forever
Cute.
to come up with it.
Okay. That brings us to Mara.
One night, as we're all kind of like settling down in our like camp area, Mara's gonna hear something. She hears something kind of off, and she goes to check it out, and she runs into some of her clan people.
Ooh.
And I can't think of any cool names. It took me like 3 days to come up with Mara's name, so
Oh, you're
I'm
good.
really bad at this.
You don't have to come up with names on the fly for an encounter.
Okay.
What are they, what more importantly, like what would they mean? Like what would these? How many of these people mean something to Mara?
Yeah, she knows them really well. They're like they were like her friends. And there's 3 of them. They're all women, obviously. And they're just kind of like walking through the I can't say walking through the forest without singing the fucking Robin Hood song. They're all walking through the forest, and just like talking, and they kind of look like they're in like a routine of something they do a lot. And they all kind of like they're all just talking to each other, and they look up when they hear like Mara come through the foliage.
So is it a good reunion and reminder of where you've come from?
I think they're a little surprised to see her there, and they're it's not that they don't like they're not like upset to see her, like they don't it's not that they dislike her, but they seem kind of like worried that she's there, and they're kind of like, "Oh, what are you doing here? Like you're not supposed to be here." And so she just kind of
Probably
tells them that like
explain that you're making your way through. Like this is just simply
Right.
a travel, not a not a stay.
Right. So yeah, she just kind of
Okay.
explains that they're like she's on a trip and it's
Well, they so in order to help you get through the Margrave Forest, because clearly you aren't supposed to be here, they sort of not bless but sort of enchant your journey for the next few hours for the remainder of the day until you set camp, in hopes that you will be out of the forest as soon as possible, which certainly does help. You find that you can push an extra hour or two, all of you, without being without needing to roll for being tired. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they cast the spell of Margrave Kickstart and got you a couple extra hours of adventuring. So, Margrave Dew, they gave you some Margrave Dew Kickstart, and you guys managed to get out of the woods at this point. Now, up in this higher elevation, besides obviously the drier air, the ears constantly popping, the being a little more winded just from general exercise, we'll go to another round of narrating the travel. I managed to be able to come up with another encounter, so we'll resume the order again as we go to the next round of narration. So we'll start back at the top with Prudence. Prudence, you are now, to give kind of a brief description now that you're out of the woods, the clouds are much closer here as you are higher in elevation. You're not quite above the clouds, obviously. But the clouds themselves seem to be much closer as you're higher in elevation. The air is thinner. It is more gray and lifeless. As if at one point in time, all of you noticed that this land probably had a little more abundance to it. But it has either been ruined by massive traffic from ages past that now just leave behind large pockets of dust fields and such. And as far as the encounters, you all can at least get the foreboding sense of not fucking around and finding out by taking a detour to Bratislava. As anyone who manages to come from there that is not a foe has nothing good to say about that place. So we'll start with you, Prudence.
Is the mountains, are they snowy?
Oh, for sure. It is certainly cold, even up at this higher altitude. So there's absolute snow that maybe by the time it drifts over to you, will last for maybe an hour, but will eventually fade and get absorbed into the ground.
Okay. I'll say this then. The group makes their way into the cloudy mountains and it becomes very cold. Prudence elects to stop just for a moment to make sure that everybody is warm, that we've covered the horses with some sort of horse clothing. I'm not a horse person, I don't know what you call it. And as
what is it that you're asking for? Horse clothing?
Yeah, you ever see how they put clothes on horses when they're when it's really cold outside?
Oh, like the snow cover.
Yeah, like coats?
I don't know what they're called, coats or horses. I just assumed they had a name, like bridles or things you put around their faces, Saddles are what you sit in.
They are warm.
Okay. Before we begin making our way, it is then that we notice that there is a man sitting on a rock. Or at least we think he's a man. We're not quite sure. He's covered in really, really heavy furs. And Prudence elects to be the one to approach closer. And she asks him, Sir, are you okay? It's quite cold up here and you seem to be by yourself. And it turns out he's a poet. And he comes up into this place because it's desolate and it inspires him into melancholy. Do you want to play with me? Jordan.
You are okay.
You want to
Sure.
play a game?
Sure. I could do a quick one.
Okay.
Yes, as I was saying, I'm coming up with current poem.
Perhaps I could hear a verse.
I suppose since it's quite unfinished, you could hear it for free. Normally, such work such as myself requires payment.
And time to Google.
I don't know. Is this a new deity?
Oh, I heard he's a wizard.
Hmm.
You're thinking of Jane. Oh, I see. You're thinking of Jeeves.
Oh, Jeeves the wizard. I thought he was retired.
Wizards don't retire, they just disappear off of this plane of existence.
Wizards don't retire, they just alter the OGL. I mean, what?
Prudence sort of she gathers the convicts around, letting them know that this isn't a dangerous person, just perhaps a misguided one. Yes, thank you, Jamie. That's what I was thinking of.
A poem.
Who's going? What are you gonna say, Leoston?
Leoston is going to be like, he's going to join because it's what everyone else is doing, but he's not happy about it.
What, he doesn't like poems?
No. He likes sagas, not poems.
Of course. Go ahead, Jordan.
My name's not Jordan.
Go ahead, poets.
The bell rings once. My drink empty and needing refill. Late again. Always late. I sit so long, it pains my end. The drink refills, it ends my pain. I give up. I am of no importance. Another hour, another day, another glass. And I'm thinking about ending it with, and then I'm on my way. It's the only rhyming scheme in the whole poem. It's supposed to tie it up nicely. Would you like to buy a pelt?
Pelt? Sure, actually. What does he have for sale?
He has one fox pelt.
I will take it. I wanted a fox pelt.
Wonderful. It's 100 gold.
Oh my god, that is too
You've fallen
expensive.
into her trap.
Beg pardon. There's no place near here to buy a fox pelt. So, if you want one, it is an issue of supply and demand.
I rather think that's far too high. Perhaps we could haggle. Or perhaps I could buy one of your poems.
My poems aren't for sale, but you could certainly attempt to haggle. The only fox pelt peddler / poet in these mountains.
I'll give you 50 gold. And that's still rather high.
Roll persuasion.
Oh god, where'd my sheet go? Where is it? 13.
I didn't even look at the roll. Sold! He sells you a fox pelt for 50 gold. Like taking candy from a baby.
I just like the poem. I thought it was good. I have a soft spot for
I'll let you,
poems.
you know what? I'll let you describe, what does this fox pelt look like?
Uh,
Is it a snow fox? Is it a regular wood fox?
It is actually a fox pelt unlike any that we've ever seen. It is not orange or brown or gray. It is blue. It is so white that it's almost blue.
Interesting. And then I've added a blue-white fox pelt to your inventory, and I have taken 50 gold to satiate my ravenous dungeon master hunger.
Thank you for telling me a poem.
Yeah, I didn't Google it. Just want to let you know. Came
You
off,
made that up?
came off the old dome.
And came from your heart. Do
Yeah.
you need a hug then?
How dare you challenge me by saying I'm Googling everything. Poppycock. That was 50 gold worth valuable time.
Yes.
Attendee.
So we are traveling up the road and we can see the city in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
And after a little while, we start hearing this sound. It's kind of incomprehensible, but it's repeating itself, and it sounds like voices. And it kind of sounds like people chanting. And we can't really tell what they're saying. Like, we can't really discern anything in particular, but it sounds like it's coming from all around us because it's bouncing off of the mountains. And we're kind of like, are we cool with this? Like, is this okay, or should we go fast? We're like, what's our deal? And this big, I don't think any of us have ever seen anything like it, but he's a Leonin, and he's just this big, white, old dude. And he just kind of like comes around one of the mountains and is like, hey, maybe go faster. Like, maybe not, don't sit here. Maybe this isn't a good spot.
All right. So you get an old, wise, lion humanoid man of great age and significance and wisdom to advise of you not staying in a spot for far too long. So, with that, I would say you do have to push a little bit harder. And although very temporary, you do all encounter a level of exhaustion at making sure that you heed his kind advisement.
Can I at least exchange a level of exhaustion? Could I tempt you into telling us, as this gentleman, who seems like the kind of person who probably would get kicked out of a Denny's, could you potentially tell us to maybe go faster as this character? Would you play in the space?
If I'm gonna play in the space for you to not have exhaustion, I feel like it would be the other way around.
No. I will take exhaustion. That's fine. I would like to hear from this old
The
gentleman.
price is that we hear from this man who potentially has a name that maybe starts with, I don't know, on top of my head here, L?
Yeah, maybe he's really like winded too. Like, maybe he has exhaustion because he doesn't do stairs or mountains. He just gets tired.
His
His cholesterol is really high. It's very unnerving.
Mm-hmm.
His cholesterol is not high. I've been working on it.
Oh God, the chanting has turned into a bunny.
Sure. As you guys round a mountain bend, you see this old, winded Leonin. For those who haven't seen it before, it is he is a tall being, although rather hunched over. It's hard to gauge his exact height. He does have a cane of gnarled wood that is basically discolored from the sun draining and bleaching it of its vibrancy. Also noting he has been around long enough for such a cane to be that bleached. And he hails you for a moment and goes, I have a suggestion. Do you have any water? I'm a bit parched.
Tendy has water.
Tendy gives this guy water.
Okay. This explains your extra exhaustion. Well, thank you. He takes a drink. He goes, I don't see many people around these parts. Where are you all headed?
No one else wants to talk to the boy.
Oh,
It's your scene. It's your scene.
Oh. Who wants to remind me the name of the temple?
It is the Temple of the Gods. Simply the Temple of the Gods.
Tendy is going to Temple of the Gods with Tendy's friends.
what a remarkable pilgrimage. I do, now that my thirst has been quenched, would give you a word of warning. Is this your first time coming through these mountain passes?
Yeah.
He kind of strokes his long eyebrows into a curl. Perhaps it'd be best you do not stay around here. I would push onward, perhaps at a faster pace for the next hour. Seems to be dangerous beings around.
Okay.
One more thing.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't seen any pigs around, have you?
Tendy does not think so.
It's unfortunate. I was looking for some bacon. Well, thank you for the drink, and may you press onward and find your temple.
Tendy has heard story about,
And she points down to this city.
and goes, Tendy has heard of tavern owned by person named Denny. Maybe has bacon.
It's only appears to be a day and a half journey.
We're not sending Lestain to the place where people get their mind flayed.
He's a planeswalker. He's fine.
You say that they might have bacon. How certain are you of this?
Tendy has only heard stories. Very crispy.
Well, he kind of rolls up the sleeves of his sort of sleeved poncho that he's wearing. Anywhere's better than these snow-capped mountains. All right. I appreciate the kind offering of advice. I shall check out this Denny's. Perhaps the air's a little bit more breathable there.
Tendy will go faster.
You also might want to put on a little bit more. You seem to be naked.
Tendy is very cold.
He will hand you his sleeved poncho. Even rolled up, they seem to be quite large.
I want a Lestain poncho. What the fuck?
It's her birthday weekend.
Okay, fair.
And then you guys are on your way. You all do suffer a level of exhaustion, which of course is easily worth it and rendered pointless upon the next rest that you have. Very good.
That was really cute. Clap, clap, clap,
That's
clap, clap.
adorable.
We often called Lestain Leofston in our game, just so you know.
I'm really
Yeah,
bad
it's
at names, and I genuinely kept being like, "Oh yeah, his name's Lee Austin." And then Jordan would look at me, and I was like, "It's not. I should know this. He is my favorite character we've ever had."
It's so similar.
Yes.
And they're both big, fluffy boys.
So fluffy.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, between the two, which one has been kicked out of the Denny's?
Lee Austin probably
Both.
would have gotten kicked out of the Denny's.
Just for
Definitely.
different reasons.
Lee Austin is kind of the person that says another and slams all of their glasses down and breaks them. And so, like, after the 17th one, they were like, all right, buddy, you gotta go.
Have you seen the meme about the Waffle House lately where that lady just fucking threw the chair and it like spun around on her arm?
Yeah, Waffle House Wendy.
Yeah, that's
Liam
Lee.
rolls a fucking 20. God damn.
That's Lee Austin. That's why he got kicked out.
Lee Austin is the one who threw the chair. Let us not be deceived.
I am the one who throws.
His greatest adversary is this little, like, 14-year-old girl who grabbed a chair out of midair, and he was like, oh no, I need to leave. I've made a grave error.
She's so
Your
powerful.
boss music.
All right. Well done, Tendi. Go ahead and end your turn, though, because it cannot be Sin's until you do. Thank you. All right, Sin. As you
Go ahead.
you press on, and you have now started eastward, leaving, having Bratislor at your back.
Okay, there's a day, kind of less productive than we would prefer, but we're all extremely exhausted at this point. And we come across it's kind of a cute little town, but it's abandoned. Some of it in ruins. A lot of us just walking around, just enjoying the day, or lounging about. Sin kind of goes off on his own. He comes across a cemetery. This particular town, I mean, they must have been fairly well-to-do because their town was able to afford written gravestones. And so he's just going down the line, reading each one. And but then he comes across one that just reads "Unknown Traveler." So he stands there for a bit. His eyes just kind of dart around, look at the ground. It just kind of fits. Then he walks back to his friends.
Perhaps you will be a unknown traveler.
No, we know him.
But how long will it take
Do
you?
we?
How long will it take you until you forget?
What?
Not very long if he keeps picking flowers in the fucking forest.
Man's got to drink tea. How else do you get fucking tea?
This is why we can't go on the fucking Fey roads.
Look, Mara, I would if it fell from the sky, I would drink sky tea, but right now I can't.
While
Oh,
you were glaring at him, that's so funny.
Interesting. Speaking of interesting, after that town, you guys do not see another person or civilization or any village or even ruined city along the way. Not even a coaching inn for stabling your horses. It is a very uneventful day. This isn't a flat area. There are obviously some ditches, but off in the distance ahead, you believe you see a inch, like, it can't be an inchworm, because to see it on the horizon, it must be bigger than an inchworm. And it just slowly moves, and as you get closer, you find it is not an inchworm, a black inchworm. It is instead a large swath of giant rats, moving almost one over themselves in a large swarm. But the unusual thing about it is they are carrying somebody against their will. Further and further down this road, and you realize this ahead of you, that this may be purposeful, but the being that is being carried along cannot get proper footing to be able to shake these rats as they are in a constant state of motion. He is, or you can hear shouts, but they also get drowned out by the endless stampede. There are about 40 rats in total. What do you do?
You said
Does this-
he's far?
You are close enough now where, like they move obviously, but you at your traveling pace are managed to catch up. That's why you see it as an inchworm at first. Then you see that it's a bunch of rats, giant rats, and then you see that they're carting somebody off.
Go ahead, Angie. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was gonna say, do you remember a long time ago where I did all that work to go fight in the bars, and then I got some stuff for learn about the Mouse King? Does this remind me of anything I learned about the Mouse King?
You begin to question whether anything beginning with the word mouse or king will always make you think of the Mouse King. No.
Do you want to fight me? I will fight you right now.
I could, but I don't
Fight me as the Mouse King right now.
I don't hit my friends.
Does this man seem to be in distress at all? The one that's being carted off by this ball of rats? Okay.
Yeah.
We should do something, right? We should go save this man. And she jumps off the cart and starts booking it towards the ball of rats.
Leofton like kind of hit like makes a gesture. He's like, I could just make the horses go fast, and so he like hi-yats and like gets the horses to book it a little quicker after the rat.
Sin takes a moment to get a lay of the land to try to figure out where the rats are going. Can I roll a perception check?
They are continuing down the road, and it seems that by the time you catch up to them, just so you know, running with the cart and everything, that there will not be space for the rats and the cart at the same time. They will be essentially in front of you.
Well, then Leofton will pull up behind them.
But they are following the road.
Can I tumble? I have a sheet up. Can I tumble through them and stop them so that they get pinned between the cart and Prudence?
Well, this is going to be a group effort. So what I want everyone to do is think of a skill. If you can't think of a skill, think of an ability or a magic spell. And I want you to narratively tell me with your skills or your abilities or magic how you manage to stop at least rescue. More on the rescue part. There are 40 giant rats. If we want to have that encounter, we certainly could at a later time, but more focusing on the rescue portion, not the rats.
Okay.
Tell me how you manage to rescue the man in distress.
With vehicle proficiency, the Austin keeps the cart like at the same speed as the rats.
Okay. So the vehicle proficiency itself is not quite the thing I'm looking for, but describing it as that would say that would be a athletics check as you manage to control and push the horses to be able to keep catch up, not only but catch up and maintain a bit of the same speed as the swarm of rats. So go ahead and roll a athletics check for me. Okay.
16.
You Sweat covers your brow as you push through this sort of thin-aired passageway to at least try to catch up to the rats and possibly at least be side by side. You know that the passage ahead is only going to allow one to go through, but at least with the cart being right side by side during this opening, perhaps others would be able to assist with being able to rescue the man. So you have done a good job in being able to contribute to that.
Thanks.
Okay, I know what I want to do. I
There's-
want to fly up next to Prudence and kind of block their way. And I want to use my speak with animals and animal handling to try to talk them out of it.
Describe block their way.
Like just stand in front of them so that they know that I'm there instead of like I know that Poppy's not going to do much to like block them from moving past, but like I just literally mean stand in front of them.
So you want them to try to go around you, possibly breaking up that
No, I
swarm?
want to talk them out of it.
Okay.
Like I want to talk them into like letting the guy go.
Okay.
That's my main goal here. The first part was just flavor and does not have to be a thing.
Okay. You probably fly above them while you're able to talk to them. I don't think you'd be able to fly out in front, but you certainly are like above them and over the shouting of the man in distress who now sees that there are people trying to rescue him, is vying for your attention, but you are focused on speaking to the rats themselves to get them to do what exactly?
Let him go.
Okay. That is a pretty tall order, considering that is what they are tasked to do. So go ahead and roll an animal handling check, but this is going to be a DC of 22.
1 million.
No,
20. What? I didn't hear Jordan's because of Angie making a joke.
I'm sorry.
22.
Can I?
You have inspiration.
I know I do, but that doesn't mean anything. I could roll 2 1s.
Won't know until you do.
Apparently.
It's not. I mean,
My chaotic
your
dice roll didn't count.
Your unfortunate rolling does not count for the fact that that's going to
That's
change the
20,
DC.
24.
Got him.
See,
Nice.
maybe
Yeah.
next time, Poppy, you'll roll before you say you rolled poorly.
I would do that, but if I say I roll poorly afterward, then it's not calling it.
Well,
so
it's not going to make me change the DC. That's what I'm trying
saying
to say.
saying that I roll poorly before and then rolling well makes me feel better than anything.
Yeah,
honestly,
set the bar low. I get that. I get that.
Mhm.
Okay. You speaking to so many rats at once is absolutely challenging, but you do manage to, in your pleas to let him go, manage to take the number of rats from 40 down to 30, as some of them begin to snap out of whatever it was that is causing them to work in unison with the remainder of this rat swarm. And so they have slowed down just a bit, but it is still nonetheless carrying this man at a slower pace. And obviously a more bumpy ride without there being 10 more to be able to help carry the weight.
Okay.
Can I go next?
It's whoever, as long as everyone goes once before someone tries to chime in with another one.
Okay. I want to get ahead of the rats and then hang from a tree branch by my knees and hold my hands out for the man to hold onto, to grab onto as he rolls past.
Oh, that's so smart.
Okay.
Ooh, I want to help you, but I will help you by using fog cloud to herd them towards her.
Whoa, thank you.
Okay. I'm not gonna. So I don't want to have you roll in athletics because it was athletics was already chosen. So I think hanging upside down and being able to have the accuracy to grab sounds like an acrobatics roll with advantage, with the help from Sin and his fog cloud spell.
Thanks.
Okay. Sure enough, you are. So you rush out using the slowness that Poppy has done to assist the rats, giving you that small window to run ahead now that the path has gone down to just as wide as it can be for the swarm, and then your party mostly behind. But you cut out in front and manage to make it with your speed to a hanging branch of a long since bare tree, strong enough to hold your weight, and you hang upside down as the fog as Sin's fog cloud kind of cascades over the walls and kind of veers them to go straight towards where the branch is. You extend your hands and you are able to grab on to the man's hands themselves, and you do pull him towards the very back of the rat pack, so to speak. This causes another 10 rats that are in the front to sort of, now that they're not carrying his weight, run faster than the group and have therefore broken off. So now that number has been reduced down to 20. And you are, though, however, currently also being carried by the rats.
Oh, shit.
Well, that didn't go quite as well as I planned. Name's Prudence. What's yours?
I think we should have time for perhaps introductions later. Please, can the rest of you help? And that leaves a couple of you left, I believe. Name's Prudence. What's yours? Jolly Roger, lad. I think we should probably do this later. Just casually, just like, so is your first time on a rat pack?
Well, that just leaves Tindy and Mara, right? Because Sin helped me.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got a lasso?
What's the motivation of the rats? Why are they running off with this dude?
You know, if you manage to get one in an office-style interview, they may tell you, but right now they have a mission, and that's to get this guy of some sort of significance, and now Prudence, wherever the destination may lead. It's hard to gauge what drives a swarm of rats.
Okay. Can I do two things? Can I do two abilities?
Well, start with the first one. We'll see.
So I wanna run up and keep pace, like I wanna get into the pack and get up to the rat that has the guy on it, and I wanna touch him and make him invisible. Well, I wanna do something that will not become a precedent. I want to run up to this rat and grab this guy and put him on my back. And then as I do that, I want to make him invisible so that they think they lost him.
Okay.
Prudence, you're on your fucking own, man. You got into this mess.
Jump
off the rat.
Love you too.
The invisible thing is going to be it's going to be tricky because although I know, I understand. Because being invisible doesn't mean that you're weightless, so they would still at least know. They wouldn't see that they would feel it.
Well, yeah,
however,
they'll know he's gone, but they won't know where he's gone.
Yeah, I'll say with the ability to kind of now that you kind of bottlenecked into this area, you're currently behind the cart. You could Misty Step up in front of the horses being drawn by Leofston. I'm sure probably at this time Leofston might be backing up a little bit now that they've slowed down in speed, but you could absolutely be able to get there and with the use of Misty Step and be able to grab and put him on your back. That would save him, and then Tendy would need to save Prudence.
They're not trying to run away with Prudence, right? Like she could just jump off. Why can't this dude just jump off?
This is essentially what would be a variant of a skill challenge, where everyone does something narratively with something to be able to achieve success or failure. So therefore, like with what everyone has done, not one person can solve the whole thing by themselves. So narratively, you could be able to you wanted to be able to get him onto, and not set a precedent for this, but get him onto your back and rescue him.
Nobody else is riding me.
You can certainly do that. By the use of I would say by a use of your Misty Step, which again you don't have to mark it off because you have time to rest. But yeah, no, I'd say with that there's no skill you'd be able to grab him. That leaves Prudence, however, on Tumble Dry on the backs of these smelly, dirty rats.
They're just normal sized rats.
They're giant rats.
Oh,
God, can you imagine Prudence riding on a normal sized rat?
I didn't see
Like, wait, where is it? What's carrying me?
Check out my new skates.
Save me, Tendy, you're my only hope.
None of my ideas are good. Hang on.
All your ideas are good.
Why I made a character where I could just create anything? Why did I do this to myself? I'm not good at coming up with ideas. Let me tell you what I want to do. You tell me if I could do it or not. If not, I'll come up with something else.
Okay.
I want to get in the center of these rats and cast Thunderwave. How can I do that? I'm okay with it hitting Prudence.
I mean, I'm okay with it hitting Prudence.
I mean, it's gonna take days for us to travel. She'll heal.
Yeah.
But
And it's so hard she knocks off the rat.
Mice are scared of loud noise. That's why specifically Thunderwave is what I'm thinking of, because it amplifies sound up to, I think, like 250 feet, and it just makes a really loud noise.
Sure.
It does damage too, but like, and it also pushes them. So Prudence would just fall in the middle.
Okay.
And then it's up to her to like duck and cover and roll. Could I do that?
Yeah, so let's see, like imagining that this is sort of a cinematic scene where like this whole skill challenge is where like the black bars come down and like they're on the top and the bottom of the screen and it's a cut scene. So while everyone is doing this simultaneously, Tendy, you in the cart perhaps maybe climb onto the horse's back to get as close to the swarm as possible. Mara had just essentially like Misty stepped with her like leaves and gust of wind, appeared in front to grab the man and put him on her back, and then perhaps maybe leap into the air trying to clear the rats. You, seeing her leap, probably jump as well to land towards the center instead of over it, because if these rats were to scatter, then Mara would at least have a relatively safe place to land. And so you do so, and you land kind of on Prudence's stomach. And as she is
all four legs with claws and everything. I'm so sorry.
And then all of a sudden, from your your paws comes the crackling and quick jumps of lightning before the deafening roar of thunder just kind of almost gives Prudence a bit of whiplash as the rest of the rats kind of just get pushed up against the walls of this crevasse, allowing Mara and everyone to be able to, at this pace, go through quickly enough to where in the wake of it, the rats just kind of tumble back down the crevasse on top of themselves and then begin to scurry in every direction, which is only, the two directions of the crevasse. But yeah. So you have managed to save this man and Prudence from the giant rat swarm that had begun to carry him off to who knows where for who knows why. Congratulations.
I'm so sorry, Prudence.
Prudence lays in the dirt with a Tendy on top of her.
Oh God.
Tendy could have played lasso, but Tendy could not have lassoed.
It's okay. She puts her hand on top of Tendy's head. You did good. Just going to lay here for a moment. Hope you don't mind.
And then the cart just speeds off without him.
Well, Leon's like, wait,
no.
All right. Since it is 10:30, I know that we have next day off, but we do want to make sure we wrap it up for everybody that has to, work the next day. We are going to we'll play this last bit out. We will start next time with Leofston. We'll keep the same order, and we are on day 2, right? So
Round 2, yeah.
yeah. Real quick before we get into this probably shortened version of meeting this individual. Let's see. Who from the first round? Let's see. Oh no, that was all one round. That because it was out of order. It was just whoever spoke up.
Yeah.
Who? You know what? I'm gonna give it to Mara. Mara, I want you to roll me 2d20. Six and 3.
Out of 40, I got 9.
No, I'm looking at the individual numbers. I was gonna give you a choice between 6 or 3. Do you want the choice, or do you want me to pick between the two?
6.
Good, that was what I was gonna pick anyways.
Cool.
Uh,
Same brain cell.
Okay. The man, Winded, obviously now that everyone has stopped, you've probably not let him ride your back for that long.
Yeah, as soon as I can, he gets to get off, and nobody sees it.
Yeah.
Like nobody saw him on my back.
He hops off and he's like, "Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, I was being carried by them for miles."
Where are you from, sir?
Are you from the Denny's?
Is
Is this Denny?
The what? I'm not. No, I'm not familiar.
Here. She guides him to sit down and gives him a drink of her water flask.
Oh, thank you.
Let's start with your name.
Wendell.
Wendell, right?
Mhm.
I am Prudence.
Mm-hmm.
And then she introduces everyone else.
Nice. Thank you all so much for saving me. Oh, there's my neck. It hurts so bad.
Poor guy. Did he seem to be coming going in the direction that we're going, or coming from? Okay,
Yep.
so where he's from is probably way behind us. All right, I'll ask. Where do you hail from, Wendell?
I was it was at the Wendestall Forest. Inside there's a tower. I'm not from there, but I was there, and I got carried away on the backs of all of those mice. I'm bruised everywhere. Oh, it hurts.
How did you get into that situation?
I mean, I wanted to see what was in the tower. You know.
And they just grabbed you and started running.
Well, I mean, last thing I recall, I was eating me a fine shank of meat from a game I caught. I didn't quite prepare it as well as I should. Now my stomach feels a bit tossed.
Does he seem to? Oh, she moves away.
Does he seem to have like a bow on him? Like, does he look like a hunter? Like, what kind of clothes is he wearing?
He's wearing kind of nice clothes, certainly dirtied now at this point, and maybe some leather pieces to cover up, like a chest piece and some, but underneath looks to be finer clothes, but certainly not in this given state. He's wearing he's wearing a glove. Where the other one is, who knows?
One sock off, one sock on.
He is actually wearing he still has his boots on. They seem to be laced pretty well.
Good, I hear if your shoes are off, that means you're dead.
Are they
laced Faye well? Like, is he falling over? What is...
No. They actually, despite all of the rest of him, look actually better than anything that's on him.
Wendell, I know this won't help much, but tell me where it hurts the most, and I can do a little bit.
It's more my brain.
Oh, Tenny
I think
cannot help with that.
I think it's been like an hour or two of just bumpy riding. Sorry
He's
about
got a concussion.
sorry about puking.
Can Prudence help with a concussion?
I mean, you can be able to probably heal him, and he'll probably feel better.
I don't know how
Yeah.
hands of healing work.
I need your eyes to follow my finger, okay?
All right, she'll put her hands like on his head with her her thumbs on his forehead and kind of like gently cradling the sides, and she'll do hands of healing. Now, I want you to. Are you an adventurer? She speaks as she's healing him.
Yes, oh my God, it's my group. They probably think I'm dead.
Do you think you can get back on your own?
I mean, I suppose. I just don't want that to happen again. That was terrible.
Wendell, when I say that the odds of you probably getting into another rat bundle are fairly small,
Well,
I think that you and I both believe that.
you
I've
know,
never seen anything like that before.
he starts unlacing his boots. I mean, I'm pretty sure you got a pair of spare boots or shoes on you, do you?
Tendy will make him boots.
But sir, why are you removing your boots?
I don't want him no more. I put them on as I was eating me chicken, and then I hear like a rumbling, and I got carried away on the backs of one of those dirty rats. And it's like they had a mind of their own.
Are they boots of rat summoning?
If they are, don't put them on.
Prudence looks at them.
I found them. Well, I mean, my group did. And the way we do it is, I was the last person in the group to be able to get a magical item. So they said, go ahead, Wendell, put the boots on. We don't know what they do. We didn't cast identify on them or anything. So I was like, well, I do need me a new pair of kicks. So I put them on while I was eating my chicken. And then I got carried away. And then you saved me. Thank you, all of you. Oh, for the record, I think I have to... She keeps looking up at Mara. I never, at one point in time, ever rode on her back. She just swung and saved me.
Of course.
Yes, that is Mara.
No one rides on her back.
No.
Well, you made boots, Tendy.
No, I feel like that's really mean. I'm not gonna make him boots.
I mean,
The boots go away after an hour, so he would just walk and then suddenly not have any boots at all. And
if you mention that to him, he's like, I could get back within an hour, and I could be able to get my old boots back on.
Tendy will make him boots.
Wow, you're able to make him out of bloody nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. You can make anything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you have to make Farkas a girlfriend.
Oh.
Oh, not real life, just inanimate objects.
Tendy feels icky now, and Tendy looks up at Prudence like Tendy is super fucking uncomfortable.
Sorry, my head.
That's enough talking about creating people out of thin air for.
We got a lot of inside jokes in my group. Sorry, I thought.
He's like, I'm not making a sex doll for some random guy.
It's all right, Sandy. He's concussed.
Well, yeah, no, you said an hour, right? Well, we'll be getting a move on. I tell you what, I know that they're magical. They have to be. Just don't put them on, maybe, without knowing what they do first. He starts lacing up his shoe, the kind temporary boots, and he goes, "We'll have to make you back for. They're gonna laugh at me."
Well, at least they'll be laughing at you and not crying at your funeral.
You got a right point there.
Thank you for the boots.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if anything, you could sell them, or give them to an enemy. I have no idea.
The boots that Tendy made for him, when he takes a step, they light up.
Oh my god.
He takes a step and he goes, "Oh, I'm gonna jolly run all the way back. Thank you."
And if he stands on his heels, they have little wheels. And he can just wheel away to get there faster.
Guys, I think Wendell's my favorite person we've ever met.
Friendship with Listane ended. Wendell is my new best friend.
So, the way that you don't need identify, essentially, unless you needed it immediately. You could spend, at the end of a short rest, spending an hour looking at it and kind of just spending time with it. You do know what it does. Apparently, Wendell did not spend time and just put them on at the chagrin of his other adventuring friends. This is Boots of Vermin. It is a uncommon magical item that does require attunement. Which basically at the end of the hour, when he finally knew what they were, it was too late. But the bearer gains a +1 bonus to intelligence investigation checks. These must be Inquisitor Boots of Vermin. And then the crawling things of the earth, such as insects, snakes, and vermin, are attracted to this item. When placed on the ground, such creatures will scurry toward them like moths drawn to the flame.
I don't know about you guys, but it kind of sounds like a sin item cinematically to me.
That's why animatically.
What do you guys think?
So, vermin just flock to the boots?
If there are, vermin, insects, snakes, all
They're like Pied Piper boots.
Yeah, either that or somebody who can speak with animals.
I mean, if nobody else wants them, we'll take them.
Run, Shadowfax.
I don't actually want them, but the idea of Boots giving Poppy any boost to any sort of intelligence check is very funny.
Okay. And you have found yourself a pair of magical boots.
Those could be super fucking useful, actually. If we use those like a bomb and just threw them, I have a spell called Catapult. Listen. I have a spell called Catapult where I can throw things. We could just catapult the boots at the feet of an enemy, and then they just get rat bombed.
They step into the boots.
Cool.
Like some sort of old cartoon.
Yeah, as long as we don't wear them, we could throw them at somebody and then that person gets attacked by cockroaches the second that they touch the ground. That's dope as hell.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm dumb. So, when you put the boots on and you touch the ground, swarms of snakes and bugs and rats, whatever, appear, or is it after you wear them for an hour? What's attunement? I guess is my question.
That was what I was going to bring up with. I hate to take the attunement words that are very vital to this sentence to unfortunately say nay to the scenario that Tendy had posed. requiring attunement means that you spend an hour with the item to be able to infer of what its abilities are. It does, in order for it to work, they have to be equipped. They have to be worn. If you're going to throw it at somebody, then it's going to be a regular pair of boots until an hour goes by.
I could put a rat in them, and then the rat could wear them. But then that would be throwing a rat. You're right. This is problematic. I take it back.
That rat would get a +1 to intelligence investigation checks, which I mean could be potentially.
That would be pretty.
You make a smart rat and give him 50 friends.
You've seen Gray Mouse Detective, right? I have. I think this is a great idea.
Oh, hello,
And can I
Basil.
tell you, Great Mouse Detective was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then I grow up and find out that Sherlock Holmes is not a sweet and gentle mouse who just wants to solve crimes. He's a fucking drug addict.
Yep. I fell in love with Basset Hounds. One of the reasons was specifically because of that movie. Because the fucking dog in that movie is just a big dumb Basset Hound, and I love him.
I mean, not to simplify drug addiction, it's a horrible disease, and people can't just it's not like a laziness thing that they can come over, but I just thought Sherlock Holmes just wanted to solve crime.
He does, while being absolutely blitzed out of his mind.
I mean, can you blame him?
Sometimes you have to get to a higher plane of existence in order to solve crimes correctly.
Some of us play games on hard mode. That would be
fucking Sherlock Holmes books are. I'm not get into it, but
they're
kind of the worst.
Yeah, that is a story for another time. I will go ahead and end the recording. Thank you so much for playing.
Jordan's like, this is gonna get flagged by BBC.
Goodbye.